Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 188. Lower body session. Started off with some foam rolling today. Haven't done foam rolling in a little while. Even though the foam roller is literally right outside my bedroom, I just walk past it sometimes and go, oh, I don't have time for it. But this whole thing probably took me all of about 2 minutes. Really doesn't take long just to foam roll the entirety of the lower body. Especially those IT bands, really nice to sort of loosen those up. Made me feel really good going into this workout. With regards to jumping performance, I don't know what it is at the moment, but I'm really struggling with jumping at the moment. I haven't been able to jump as high as I usually do. So obviously the rim height hasn't changed. Rim height's like 9.6, 9.7. In the past, I've been able to, go quite consistently get all 4 plants on this rim, and I was struggling to just get regular plants on this rim today. Might have been because it was the time of the day. Maybe I was really tired. Maybe I've just nervous system has been fried for a few days. I'm still recovering from some other workout in the past. Who knows why I'm not jumping as high as I usually am, but it's a little bit frustrating because, I haven't really missed a day of jump training. I've always been doing the right things, been doing plenty of sprints, plenty of strength training, plenty of plyometrics, plenty of bounding, all that. Give myself ample chance for recovery, eating plenty of food. But I guess sometimes, even when the stars align, you might find that you're just not performing the way you want to. And I guess that's a part of the process as well. So yeah, jumps were not what I wanted them to be today. Still got a few dunks in, of course. Would have been a bit disappointed if I didn't get any dunks on this height, because that would be some serious regression. But I'm still able to get some dunks on this height, even when I'm jumping. I would say I'm probably jumping at my worst in a while. Probably the worst I've been jumping in maybe a month or two. So I was really getting into a good routine of jumping quite consistently high over the last couple of weeks. But hey, maybe it's just a down week, who knows. Anyway, moved into some high hang power cleans from that. I wanted to do these just in front of the rack instead of where I usually do them, because I was planning to go straight into front squats after these. And interestingly enough, I did a different variation on the high hang power cleans where I do repeating high hang power cleans for the build-up sets. Didn't do these in the top sets, would have been too heavy to do this with 100 kilos. But with the 60, 80 and 90 kilo sets, it felt quite nice to sort of rebound the bar. What's nice about doing rebounding or cyclical high hang power cleans is it really forces you to have a very efficient technique, because as soon as that bar comes down, you then have to use that reused the momentum of the bar and the stretch shortening cycle of your lower body, and your upper body as well, but you have to utilize that stretch shortening cycle to sort of rebound the bar back up off of the power position, back up into the front rack. So I did 80 for, I think it was like 5 or 6 reps, and then I did 90 for 4. I was planning on doing 100 for 3, but as soon as I picked up the bar with 100, I was like, there's no way I'm doing these cyclical reps with 100 kilos. It's just not happening today. So I did 3 singles with 100 kilos, just sort of not rebounding the bar, just putting it down, resetting, and then going again. To be honest with you, I've never done more than a single with 100 kilos at a time. So I guess you could say this is a 3RM. Seems kind of silly to call it an RM, like a three rep maximum, when, this is like the first time I've ever done it for reps. I probably could have done an extra rep if I wanted to, but it would have been pretty shocking form. And you'll see on this last set, this is the second set here, but on the last set, I think it's the second or the third rep, my form is absolutely atrocious. I'm not catching it in that front rep position the way I want to, but, still get the bar up. And, it's not always about having perfect form, it's just having good enough form to complete the rep sometimes. Being competent rather than, striving for perfection and sort of neurotically over-analyzing your form, because that can be an issue as well. That can sort of push you too far the other way as well. So I think the high hang power cleans felt pretty good. They felt explosive. There were some reps when I was catching the bar and it looked really nice and it felt really nice. But there were other reps where, it just didn't feel as good. Catching it in the wrong part of my front rack position, not quite able to control the distance between the bar and my body. I was sometimes sort of, because I'm very hip dominant, I tend to want to sort of really load up my glutes and then just fire the bar straight out away from me as much as possible, because that's sort of the way that I feel I can produce the most force. And you'll find me sort of leaning back excessively when I do that turnaround position. When I do the turnaround, so as the bar is sort of, as I'm pulling the bar up with my arms after I've pushed it off of my hips, off of that power position, the bar is a little bit too far away from my torso, and so I struggle to catch it in the right position. I'll either jump forward or jump backwards to account for that. Then I moved into some front squats, top set of 120 for a triple. Front squats weren't feeling too strong at this point because I was feeling a little bit of pain in my quadriceps tendon on the left side. It wasn't feeling so bad on the jumps, but then as soon as I started getting into the front squats, it just exacerbated the pain. Not like excruciating 10 out of 10, but it was like maybe 4 or 5 out of 10, like noticeably more. So that's probably why I didn't go as heavy as I wanted to. I was planning on doing like 125 for triples, but 120 is good enough for me anyway. Then after this set, I decided that I would do some deadlifts because I was planning on doing these on Friday, but didn't happen because I just did the sprints and the jumps. So I got them in here. So I worked up to a set of 150 for 5 for 2 sets. Again, I've done a lot heavier in the past with deadlifts, but this is like the first time deadlifting in a little while. Just wanted to focus on my form. What I tend to do with deadlifts is when I do like more of a hinging movement, I don't have much leg drive, you'll find that my hips shoot up slightly first before my chest lifts, and it just puts a lot of extra strain on my lower back, more than there needs to be in the deadlift. So what I was focusing on the last couple sets with this 140 was really making sure that I take all the slack out of the bar, make sure my back is, basically I'm generating maximum tension in my body, in my back, in my arms, and then pushing my legs out, screwing my feet into the floor to create as much tension in the bar before I even lift it off the floor. And then that generally helps me to maintain tension in the right places, given that the load on the bar isn't excessively heavy. I've got a decently strong back. It's just really long. So, the longer your back is, the longer the lever is, the more difficult the movement is to complete. But, I am pretty good at deadlifting compared to my squat. My squat is pretty lacking when it comes to comparing to my deadlift. But yeah, here are those top sets with 150 kilos. It felt pretty smooth. Bar was moving quite easy. I always feel it a lot more on my left side. My left hamstring feels like it's doing a lot more work than my right hamstring. It could just be a difference in leg length, or it could be a weakness or lack of muscular activation on one side. Who knows? But it felt good to do deadlifts again for the first time in a while. So yeah, that's good. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today's workout, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I will catch you in the next one.